Let's get this show started.
The house is probably bigger and more famous even than Norwood because it's been photographed so many times. Tourists come here on buses to look at his house and take pictures of it.
Says it to the left, says it to the right, says it to the front, says it to the back.
Hey, welcome everyone. Welcome to Just Norwood 2.0. My name is Norwood Young, and I want to invite you on this journey with me. Well, I want to invite someone. Those of you who are low vibrational, don't like to smile, don't like to laugh, don't like to learn, disinvite yourself. As my good friend and ex, Jackie Harry, used to say, water seeks its own level. So our level is positivity, love, laughter, right? And if that's not your level, seek your ass up on out of here. All right, so you can already tell I've been touched by an angel or two or three. But in either case, I want to start by saying that because I'm an entertainer by trade, I'm used to performing on the stage with people. I'm used to an audience. So I want to let you know that I do indeed have an audience here of 6 empty chairs and my producer, yes. So it's really weird for me to just do this thing, but I'm going to do my best and I need your help to work it out with me. So to my left, or your right, are my notes that I will be referring to. So if you see me keep looking over there, you don't have to ask me, what does he keep looking at? I'm telling you now, I'm looking at my notes. And my first notes tell me that I need to inform you about my new segment in this new show called Soapbox. So I will be on my soapbox for a minute, just giving some tidbits of knowledge and some thoughts and perhaps some inspiration. And so I'm gonna be on my soapbox for a couple minutes. So today's first soapbox topic is low vibrational people. They can be very dangerous and a detriment to your health, mentally, emotionally, and physically. And you may say, well, what is a low vibrational person? Well, you already know. You just didn't put the two and two together, right? So how many times have you said, "Oh, I don't like their vibes"? Or how many times you say, we ain't vibing, there ain't no connection. That's a low vibrational person. Your vibes are your vibration, right? So the problem is when you tend to surround yourself with low vibrational people, you walk into a party and you feel out of place. That's because the vibration is different from yours, right? So, for instance, if you like posting World Star, I've seen it. If you like posting World Star, you like posting fights, you like posting a whole bunch of negativity, you like posting ailments all the time, and you're living in that world of low vibration. So when you feel uncomfortable with that, there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with them. They're just vibrating on a different and a lower vibration than you. Again, water seeks its own level. So when you are vibrating at a certain level, it's hard for you to sustain your vibration if your environment is that. And unfortunately, so I've been in Thailand. I'm in Thailand, by the way, y'all. Hi. So since I've been here for the past, going on 7 years, there has been such a high vibration throughout, across the board. This is a Buddhist country, which is high vibration, okay? It's based on love. Now you have to be ready to deal with people saying things like, you think you're better than everybody else. No, you think I'm better than everybody else. You see, you have to be ready for all of those things that come from the mouths of people who vibrate on a low level. So that goes back to me talking about Just Norwood 2.0. If you are a person that vibrates low, this is probably not the place for you, because I will not be talking about anything other than my journey, the low vibrations that I was in, how I brought myself out of it, and what brought me to this point today. That's what we're talking about. And we're talking about fun things, crazy things. I'm out of my mind, trust me, right? So, welcome to Just Norwood 2.0. And we are talking about the earthquake that recently hit Bangkok. Now, let me be perfectly clear so you can all understand the rights and the wrongs of it. Technically, Bangkok was not hit by an earthquake. Technically, Bangkok was hit by the aftershocks and tremors of the earthquake. So theoretically, it's the closest thing to an earthquake that Bangkok has ever had, ever seen, ever experienced, right? But when it is an earthquake, you know it's an earthquake. So this is a first time experience for, I'd say 95% of the people here. Me being from Los Angeles, I know the difference. Now, here, everyone, 100%, everyone was saying they had a dizzy feeling, a swaying feeling, right? And they said instead of buildings were moving, some buildings had cracks and so forth. So those associations made it clear that it was some form of an earthquake, earth moving. But it was not technically an earthquake. It was the aftershocks. The actual earthquake is devastating. It destroys lives. It's destruction. It's death, right? So while Bangkok, on the scale was like a 4.6 of what an earthquake would be, right? And I'm going to explain that in a second. Of what an earthquake would be, it only got the aftershocks, meaning there was only one building near what's called Chatuchak here that was demolished, and it was they collapsed. And it was a building that they later found was built with faulty parts. And there are multitudes of buildings that have cracks in them. Some that were there, some that were worsened, some that were initiated by the aftershocks. My building, which I absolutely love, has more cracks in it than a woman that's 170 years old. I am by no means diminishing anyone's experience, anyone's fear, anyone's first time. Because let me tell you something. When the earthquake that hit in Los Angeles was 4.9 on the Richter scale, but it was an earthquake. We're going to get into it later, how I reacted to the earthquake. But baby, let me tell you, that earth at 4 o'clock in the morning began to rumble, not sway, rumble, like violently. The wall in front of me split open. And I was heavy into Christianity then, so I thought it was the rapture. I'm not playing. I ran out in the street butt naked. We'll talk about that later. But that was indeed a violent earthquake when stuff fall off the wall. The freeways, that's an earthquake. So again, I'm not diminishing anything by anybody's experience here. When I was in Los Angeles, that is when I experienced an earthquake. So much so that, of course, I had to leave and move into a hotel because my building was Ocean Road. And we couldn't get in for a month to get our belongings and this, that, and the other. I had to go back into my building. I want to talk about it now, okay? So it was 4:30 in the morning. Life was really good. Career was great. I just bought this new townhouse on a hill in Studio City in Los Angeles. And one of my go-tos is cookies and cream, Haagen-Dazs ice cream, and Doritos. Don't judge me. Nacho flavors. Ooh. So you let the ice cream get to a temperature where it's not too soft, but it's not too hard, so it's scoopable. And you take that nacho cheese Dorito, and you scoop that sucker, and what? Baby, listen, so I'm in heaven. So round about my sixth scoop in, I hear, what the heck is that? Something is the heaters or something? I hear this noise. And then the earth starts shaking. I mean, my lamps are moving across the floor. It was crazy. The wall split. Me, I didn't think about a towel, a robe, a bedroom slipper, I'm out of there. So in my building, girl who was dating Arsenio Hall was there. There's a couple celebrities living there, whatever. When I run outside and I see that everybody else is clothed in some level, I said, maybe this wasn't the best choice. All I knew was I thought it was the end of the world, and I didn't give a damn about what anybody else thought. In fact, I'm standing in the middle of the street, and by now it's, because the earthquake happened at 4:40 something, so it's now like 10 minutes to 5, because you couldn't get on the elevators, you had to do the step thing, whatever. So by the time everyone's in the street, this Caucasian woman says to me, and she's with her young daughter, and she's covering her daughter's eyes. She says to me, "Sir, do you know you don't have on any clothes?" I looked at her dead in the eyes and I said, "Bitch, do you know the earth just moved under our feet? You worried about my dick and the earth just moved? Your priorities are messed up." Days and days go by, and I call my mom on the phone because it is the most unsettling situation, mainly because not only the destruction, but you have zero control. Zero control. And then you're not aware when the next one's gonna come. Next one is gonna come. In fact, there were aftershocks. None quite as bad as that. But when your nerves are already shot to hell, you don't need it. Listen, when that thing happened, if I was walking down the street and somebody banged their door too hard, I jumped. So in essence, I had to go to therapy. It was nuts. So as I was in a restaurant here, myself and the bestie Debbie, we were in a restaurant here, and everybody was like, "Did you feel that? Did you feel that?" And I started seeing the lights moving and the sway. I told Debbie immediately, I said, "We're having an earthquake. Give me your hands." And I went right into prayer. "Dear God, remove the fear." So a good old 30-second prayer. We released our hands. We relaxed. We moved out of the building as instructed. The streets were crowded, of course. But I knew in that moment that life had changed for many, many people, rightfully so. But going back to the earthquake for me, changed the trajectory of my life, period, in Los Angeles. Because of the earthquake was the birth of Youngwood Court. Youngwood Court was my home that I purchased in Los Angeles proper, because I was living in Studio City. So when many years prior, let's rewind. Many years prior, I did a television show called Star Search. And how old was I? 20, 21, something. But I had a chaperone, and his name was Lincoln Kilpatrick. Lincoln Kilpatrick is a very famous actor, now deceased. So Lincoln was showing me, because this is my first time in LA. So Lincoln is driving me around LA and showing me all of the beautiful neighborhoods and this, that, and the other, and blah, blah, blah. And he drove me through Hancock Park, which was lovely, and I liked it, and I loved it, whatever. And Lincoln was showing me all of the areas in LA and whatever, and that was that. Never thought about it again. So years later, when the earthquake happened, my lease was up anyway, and they were going to house us somewhere else. I didn't want to be bothered with that. So I knew that I had about 12 days to find a house. So I began to look in neighborhoods that were on flat land, because never again was I living on a hill. That dream has sailed. No ma'am, no sir. I need some flat land, like I grew up as a child, some shit that I'm used to. I'm not, no ma'am, sir. No. That's another thing about LA, the mudslides, it's crazy. I digress. So I began looking through neighborhoods and this, that, and the other, and found this house. I found a house that I absolutely loved. Now I told you I had 12 days. I'm now into my 9th day and realized that this house did not have a pool. Now, if you're going to spend this amount of money for a home, or your dream home, it's going to be my dream home because I had 12 days to buy it. but dream home adjacent, you're gonna have everything you want. So I realized that this home did not have a pool. It did not hit me until that time. So I'm like, oh no, this house doesn't have a pool. So I went back to see how much property was back there and da-da-da-da. By the time I had the pool built and excavated everything in this, that, I'm buying another damn house. So I said, nope, that's not gonna work. So I'm back on the search again. Finally, I find this house on the corner with a pool. I'm not crazy about the landscape. When I go inside the house, it's beautiful, but every room, every carpet, every wall was painted Pepto-Bismol pink. What was I gonna do? So I decided, and I had no choice, 9, 10, 11, 12, 3 days. Yeah, I still count my fingers. 3 days to get a home. So I rented the house for a year. Right? I rented this house, this horrible house. And I figured that I'd have all the paint removed and start with a blank canvas so everything became, a cream off-white. A lot of the floors were marble that were imported from Italy, and then beautiful, beautiful hardwood floors, because this neighborhood is old money. So the hardwood floors were exquisite. It was just a beautiful home outside of the color. So I changed the color within the first few months that I was there. So I leased it for the year. And then when because of the fact that I was leasing it, I could not change any of the exterior of the home because it was not my property. So I dealt with it, at least I was on flat land and not in fear of an earthquake again. So I leased the home for a year. When the lease was up, 10 months into the lease being up, the owner of the home says, listen, we're going to sell the property. Do you want to, and we want to sell it. We're not interested in leasing it anymore. So I'm like, what I'm going to do? God said, you forgot about me and what I do? I said, all right, God, what you got for me? So the owner then says to me, I have an idea. What about if we take your 12 months of leasing and put it on a down payment on your home? Hot dog, all right, come on, guys. So I was paying something like $40,000, $40,000 a month, which is insane. Multiply that sucker times 12. That is a very, very, very cute down payment on the house. So I said to him, that will work for me. That will certainly work for me. So once I then purchased the house, all I had to do was find the mortgage and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And the mortgage, and we'll talk about this later too, but the mortgage only lasted for 6 months before I bought it outright. But anyway, that's another story. So I purchased the house. Now the first thing I have to do is what? Get rid of that horrible landscaping that I hated, right? So there were 12 very large juniper trees. For those of you who don't know what a juniper tree is like a cone-shaped tree that's about 25, 30 feet tall. And there were, I'd say about 20 or 30 that were in front of the house. So it was trees, the trees were hiding the house, trees, and then the front lawn and the circular driveway. Not too appealing. So I was coming home one night and I noticed shadows behind my trees. So I'm like, well, wait a minute. Somebody's trying to break in my house. So as I drove into the driveway, 2 people ran. So the first thing that let me know, the trees gotta go. Next day I called and had every tree removed. Now I have another problem. It's uglier. So I say to myself, what do I do now? So I said, maybe I should put a couple statues up here. One of my favorite works of art is Michelangelo's David. And That is because if you know anything about the Bible, David was a psalmist, which is a songwriter. He was a singer. He was a musician. He was a poet. He was small in stature. He was handsome. And so I related to David on many levels because David, in his small stature, had to defeat Goliath with a stone and a slingshot. And in my mind, David would be a perfect representation of all the crap that I had to go through in my life and defeat all the Goliaths in my life. So David, for me, was symbology of all the Goliaths in my lifetime, from childhood to present, that I've had to defeat and overcome. So we'll talk about the Goliaths in your life at another time. But I had to defeat my Goliaths, and I did. And my home, and that earthquake was my last Goliath, the most recent Goliath. So it represented to me what I needed it to represent, and I wanted to show that. So I think I put 3 statues, one center, 2 on either side, on pedestals of Michelangelo's David. I promise you I noticed that he was naked, but that's just what it is. I never thought anything perverted or sexual or whatever. Anyway. So the neighbors started complaining about the statues. So I am a little nuts. So I had 17 more put up. 17. So now they all line the driveway. Basically saying, kiss my ass. That's basically all I was saying. So the problem was, and I didn't realize it until later, the problem is that when I was leasing the house, I was no threat to the neighborhood, which I later learned was very racist, in the sense that they had what was known as Hancock Park homeowners associations, and they had a covenant, and in this covenant, it stated that any homes could not be sold to anybody non-Jewish, Black, Hispanic, gay, Asian. Hancock Park was that neighborhood. In fact, Natalie Cole bought a house 4 doors down from mine, same side of the street, right? And Nat's Jewish manager had to buy that house in his name in order for Nat to be a homeowner. Technically, he wasn't still on paper. When the neighbors found out that Nat indeed was the owner of the house, they burned a cross in his yard, trying to give him a lesson, right? Natalie Cole, who is Nat's daughter, is my dear friend, and we've often chatted about how it was so ironic that 50-something years later, I would be the next Nat.
Well, about 5 minutes away is the Marlboro School for Girls, and no blacks could go there, no Jews, no Latinos. It was a school for strictly white Anglo-Saxon Presbyterian girls. That has definitely changed. Now it's totally. I went to see my granddaughter, my goddaughter, graduate just 2 summers ago. So it's totally changed. It's become a very ethnic neighborhood. A lot of Asians, and I don't know how many blacks actually have moved in here. I think they're still intimidated.
But all of this was unknowing. All right, let me digress. I did not realize that this was the same Hancock Park that my Star Search chaperone had taken me to, because he never said to me, this is a restricted area or whatever. And had he said it to me, I probably would have really gone for it, but I had no idea. It was all innocent. I stayed at a hotel one night because I'm doing my thing. You don't want to do it at home, because sometimes you don't want people to know where you live. Amen. So I was doing my thing. And my assistant calls me as I'm on the way home. And he says, Norwood, I don't know if you want to come home. I'm like, what are you talking about? He said there are helicopters, news cameras, media, the whole nine at your house. I don't know if you're gonna come home. I said, what? I said, I'll be there. Give me 10 minutes and I will be there. All I heard was news cameras, baby. I was making sure my hair and everything looked good because I was usually be on the news. I don't know why, but I'm gonna be ready. So I get home and I realize that these folks are at my house because the neighbors are complaining that I have all these statues in front of my house.
A tacky expression of art.
For the type of neighborhood it is, I wish it were someplace else.
Purely for male thing in there.
Yeah, I think one statue.
And they are complaining about the statues and the gates and how I am not up to code and this, that, and the other, and they want them removed or me removed immediately, if not sooner. So what I found out also is that when I was leasing the house, they just thought, okay, this black man is just coming in. He's a rock and roller. He'll be out after a year. I told the owner, yes, I would buy the house, but I did not want it to go on the market because I didn't want to deal with the bidding and the this, that, and the other. Not even knowing about a Hancock Park Homeowners Association. Had no idea. I said, let's do it, no worries. What happened was those people were more pissed off at the fact that they had no control over who bought the house than they were about those statues and the gates. How did this N-word get in here under our noses? And we had no idea. So the minute those statues went up and those gates went up, they knew that life was about to change. So they're at my house and they are interviewing me and they're going off and this, that, and the other. So by the time this hits the news, about 2 or 3 days in, the late and honorable Johnny Cochran contacts my publicist, who then contacts me and he says, listen, what is going on in your neighborhood is ridiculous. It's time to make a change. And I said, Johnny, all due respect, I cannot afford what you want to do. And da, da, da. He says, no, I don't want any money. So Johnny Cochran pro bono fought every one of my cases, and we won every single one of them.
The city out, and the city has told you he violates no laws. Isn't that correct?
The law of good taste.
So now, your boy went crazy. I might have put 2 more damn statues. I might have put 2 more statues up. And then the parties began. And the music, in fact, I did a music video called Stand Up for Something. And it was a reenactment of the earthquake. It was a reenactment of equality, because now at this point, I realize that I'm a victim of racial inequality.
Your home is on the cover of this morning's LA Times. Your comment.
Enough of this already.
Your neighbors have described your home as a monstrosity. Your comment.
I don't care what my neighbors say. Everybody out. So, David, what's up, man? What's all the controversy about with you, man? Why is everybody tripping?
A Los Angeles man is catching flack from neighbors for his lawn ornaments.
One neighbor calls the display appalling, but Norwood Young says his mansion looks a lot better now than when he bought it.
If you don't stand for something, baby, you'll fall for anything. What you're saying, I don't care what you're doing, I don't care how you dog me out. I don't care that you mock it, I don't care that you block it. Just know it's not coming down. Stand, gotta stand for something. Stand, this is what I'm talking about. Stand, freedom of expression, freedom of speech. America's the We're the neighborhood back.
You know my nerves. Stand up for something.
No matter. That's the story of why the Hancock Park.
Stand up for something. Yeah.
I don't care who you sleep with. I don't care. You got purple hair. I don't care. You criticize me. Have wrong opinions of me. I love it when you stop and stare. Whoa.
Let's stand for something.
Stare.
This is what I'm talking about.
Stare.
Your motherfucking spirit was me. America's supposed to be about. You can't take that away from me.
Never think again. One thing I've got to say.
Just say to you, girlfriend, getting on my nerves. Stand up for something.
Yeah, getting on my nerves. Come on my nerves.
Stand up for something.
Come on, man.
Stand up for something.
Why do you care what I think? Why do you care what I do? It really should not matter to you. I have the right to do what I want to do. I live by the golden rule, never hurting my fellow man. So what's the put me through? I'd never do it to you. Never do that to you. Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
And then a couple of doors down has lived here 40 years. For the type of neighborhood it is, I wish it were someplace else. But, this is what's so beautiful about this country. Everybody can kind of do what they want to do.
So what's the putting me through? I never do it to you. So frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. Stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up. Crossing your legs, putting your hands up. Stand up, stand up, stand up for something. Yeah. Oh, I got to stand. You got to stand. I got to, you got to, we got to stand for something. The people want to know. Let them find out on their own. Everybody out. Out, man. Get out of here, man. Well, now I got to kick ass to get y'all out of here, right?
A lot of it is because they, it went under their nose, but it was straight up racism. And the racism had existed in this neighborhood for years and years and years. And the mere fact that I was the one who got under the radar, and because I lived loudly, Hancock Park is a very demure, very quiet neighborhood, said I was evil, needed to be destroyed. Yes, who was I to come into their neighborhood, Anyway, so to make a long story change, that was the beginning of Hancock Park and Youngwood Court. Many years later, I was deemed actually the king of Hancock Park. One morning I went out to get the mail, and there was a tour bus there. People got off the bus, started taking pictures of me going to the mailbox and this, that, and the other, and blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, well, wait a minute, this does not feel comfortable at all.
Tourists come here on buses to look at his house and take pictures of it.
So I got the name of the tour company, and then I called my attorney, not Johnny Cochran, called my attorney and said, yo, how do we stop this? He said, there's absolutely nothing you can do to stop it. However, you can trademark your property. And if you trademark your property, then you're on a list, and all the tour companies have to pay you when they bring their clients and their customers by your house to take pictures. What? Is there a list of tour companies that I can contact to stop at my house? So, in essence, 4 tour companies, Saturday and Sunday came by my house, 50 grand a month. You do the math, right? So, after the tour companies came up, the property value started skyrocketing, right? Many of the neighbors' complaints was that I was devaluing the property value, which was not true at all. In fact, after all of the tour buses and the attention that Hancock Park was getting, and now being on the map, the property value rose exponentially. Now, those same neighbors want to invite me to their homes for dinner. No, ma'am, you're going to poison me? I don't think so. And then some of them would hint at invites for a party. No, ma'am, not happening. Because now they want to be on the bandwagon. They want to be hit with the black friends. That's not going to happen. So now I have totally disrupted these people's lives. And in reality, they disrupted their own lives, because if they would have minded their business, had they shut up, there would have been one tour bus maybe. There would have been no issues at all. They caused all of this. And in my mind, if you don't like something, just simply drive past it. What's the big deal? So the house has, and will always have, amazing memories for me. So because the property value did go up the way it did, and I and Johnny Cochran fought all those battles, let me tell you, they paintballed my house. Woke up one morning, went outside, my house is pink, blue, purple, yellow, green. This happened on 2 or 3 occasions. Guess what? I can afford paint. I have helpers. So they realized that they are wasting money with their paint guns that they couldn't afford. My money was bigger than yours. So I replaced it. They shot bullets through my windows twice. Had to report that. So I, again, David and Goliath, see it? So again, I've had to fight many battles in that neighborhood since purchasing that house. But one thing for sure, 2 things for certain, you're not getting me to leave. You're not scaring me out. I was not made in fear. That's not my get down. So in either case, I was able to stand my ground, and it was understood that I was not going anywhere. So there was a very prestigious magazine in Los Angeles called LA City Beat. And I remember getting the phone call saying that they wanted to honor me with a cover on their magazine, and they wanted to do a ceremony crowning me the King of Hancock Park. I might have shed a tear or two, just because I was always so much in the fight, consistently in the fight. I never had a moment of vulnerability like that to sit back and go, wow, people are watching, and I am making a difference. I never did what I did for anybody else's equality. I was fighting my own thing. You know what I mean? The end result and the beautiful things that came out of it were amazing. However, when I was in it, I was fighting to survive. How dare you tell me where I can live and what I can do and how I can do it? My money's the same color as your money. I didn't understand this. So for this prestigious magazine to come and say, we see you, we always saw you, we want to honor you. So being named the King of Hancock Park, you got to understand, this is hundreds of years of prejudice that's being knocked down. I did that shit. What? So the ceremony. I opted to have it in my home because if we're gonna do this, let's do it. So yeah, maybe the producer Ken we'll put it in there. But can we do that? Okay.
When local publication LA City Beat bestowed entertainer Norwood Young the title of King of Hancock Park, he threw a celebration, of course, fit for nothing less than royalty.
Oh, I'm here to support my brother, Norwood Young, and give glory to God and what God has done. That it's a great moment in time for him to be named the King of Hancock Park. He deserves it, and it's a celebration.
Complete with a majestic throne, a gold crown, and plenty of royal subjects, His Majesty was more than happy to receive the high honor.
Wow, first of all, I'd like to say that I'm elated to become King of Hancock Park.
This event was one of the most amazing, heartwarming, fulfilling events that I've ever been associated with, let alone be the focus of, So the pièce de résistance, the icing on the cake, was that my dear friend, Natalie Cole, daughter of Nat, was there. That was a shock to me because when I got notified by the magazine of what was going on, I reached out to my publicist at the time, Ken Reynolds, God rest his soul, and told him about the situation. His first thing was, why the hell did he contact you? Why didn't he contact me first? I'm your damn publicist. Ken, let's live in the fact that this is the situation. So I said to Ken, listen, man, reach out to Natalie, because I didn't know where she was in the world. I hadn't spoken to her in months. Reach out to Natalie and let her know that I'm receiving this honor because it's for both of us, man. This is big. Because she, as I said, and her dad lived on the same street, houses down. So Ken says to me, well, Natalie's not well. And I said, well, I heard she wasn't well, but I heard she was better. He says, no, I didn't want to tell you, and she's keeping it very private, that she had to have a kidney transplant. I said, well, I knew about the situation, and I knew she eventually was going to need the transplant, but she didn't say when. He said that the situation became emergency, and she needed the transplant immediately. How long ago, Ken? Oh, maybe a week ago, 2 weeks ago. Oh, damn. All right, well, let her still know what happened. So, a couple days go by, and Ken says to me, Norwood, you're never going to believe this. And I'm like, what? He said, Natalie Cole is coming to your event. I said, what the hell? How can she be coming to my event? And immediately when he told me that, my brain went to, this is not only about me, this is about her. And this woman has, talking about demons and talking about stuff. I got it, she had it. I mean, there are so many things that she and I had in common. Just so many things that she and I had in common, down to living on the same damn street. So I immediately went to the award place and designed an award for her, honoring her on that day to share with me. So I, at the ceremony, ended up surprising her on that day, to which she bawled like a baby, she cried like a baby.
Has taught me many things over the years through her life experiences, through her consistent strength, because she's been through some stuff, and her poise. This woman and I have so much in common. Now, in addition to being given the dubious honor of being named the King of Hancock Park, today I am equally excited to be able to personally and selfishly recognize the accomplishment of my friend. And I am extremely overjoyed and proud that she chose to be a part of today with me. Please help me salute and show some major love for my legendary friend, Miss Natalie Cole. Natalie, I love you so much.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful.
We don't talk often, but I feel your spirit. I will never forget any of your struggles, all of them. And my grandmother always said, and I'm sure you all know this, You give them their flowers while they can smell them. And baby, I can give you the biggest bouquet in the world because you deserve it. This says presented to Natalie Cole for your kindness, your strength, and your courage. Love, Norwood Young, King of Hancock Park. November the 2nd, 2008. Natalie Cole, y'all. Hip hip.
This is my first, more or less, public appearance since my illness, and I just want to. Thank you. And I have to say that, you know, when you go through, again, something that's difficult and a crisis, and you don't have anyone, you know, you don't know who's going to stand with you. And the ones that you thought were going to be there aren't there and all that kind of stuff. But I just want you to know that I wear my badge of courage. This is my dialysis thing, and you know, I don't have a lot of gowns that hide it, so I just, you know, go for it, you know. And someone was saying, no, you got to hide this. I'm saying, no, this is God telling me I'm going to be all right. So I just want to thank you all. Thank you, Norwood. You're such a blessing. And to all of you, it was good to see you. Some of my friends I haven't seen in a minute, and you've been praying for me, and keep praying for Brother Norwood, because he's crazy and he's going to do something else crazy. Okay, thank you.
It was supposed to be my day, and it was our day. Two black folks with struggles in Hancock Park and being celebrated for it. So the next time I'm going to talk about some parties. I'm getting back on my soapbox, and I hope that there's something that you heard today that made you chuckle, perhaps inspired you, and most importantly, make you want to tune in again. Be sure to like and subscribe, leave a comment if you want, and I love comments. I had a good time. Yeah, I want to show you my glass. I got to show you my glass. Come on now. Come on now. You know. You already know. Cheers to you.
Oh, there it is. Oh, that's nice, man. Oh, that's nice, man. Go, boy. I got a cover. Wow. Norwood Young is the best thing in Hancock Park. Wow. I'm gonna take all of these.